Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. Today we're gonna continue with Darrell Brooks' defense. He's gonna do Erica next, so that's gonna be something else. Before that, I just want to say thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for leaving a like to the video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for letting me share this with you. Now, let's get right into the video.
I will be advising the clerk to have the jurors brought out, and then I'll ask you, sir, to call the defense next witness.
Can we address subject matter jurisdiction and still has to be proven for the record?
No,
I decline to do so. Your objection is noted for
Is
the
the
record.
audio on?
he does on.
Your objection is noted for the record.
Is the audio on?
Yes, it's on, sir. It's on.
So we're not going to address subject matter jurisdiction that has yet to be proven for the record.
For the record, I have addressed it.
Yeah, he always says, "Can we address it?" And the judge is always gonna say, "I already did. You tore up the paper that I gave you." And then he's gonna move the goalpost, being that it has been proven for the record.
No, you haven't
And
proven it
there's
for
a
the
written,
record.
See?
and your objection's noted for the
Have you
record.
proven subject matter jurisdiction for the record? Have you proven it? Has the prosecution proven it?
Oh, okay. Email that to her and print it out.
So that's your judicial determination that you don't have to answer that, Your Honor, being a public servant?
Answer what? You didn't ask a
I was
question.
talking to my clerk. I didn't hear what you asked. The jury's coming in.
You heard what I asked.
I actually did not.
Come on, Your Honor. Come on now. Come on now. We got to cut that out. You know you have to prove subject matter jurisdiction. You know that. You have to honor your oath of office. You know that.
No, and he looks up. I think he already did. I think he looked up some cases about jurisdiction, and they were civil cases. So it has nothing to do with what's going on right now.
The defense may call its next witness, please.
Be here 1 second. I'm trying to make sure I got the paperwork since I'm being rushed to judgment.
It's gonna take 3 hours.
That's not right.
Keep in mind, this is the speed up version of this. This is the edited down version. So in reality, he took way longer than this to find his documents, and he's just shuffling his papers around. That's why sometimes he doesn't find stuff that he already has, and then he blames other people for taking his documents. And right now, I think he's stalling. He's stalling until he's like hoping that a new witness will come in. We done?
Go ahead.
The defense calls Erica Patterson.
And thank you. We'll have her brought in.
Since I'm being rushed to judgment.
The word of the day: rush to judgment.
Good morning, Ms. Patterson. If you would please make
Shout
your way
out,
to the witness
by the way,
stand with-
shout out to the people that there's one. I'm blanking on the name right now, but there's someone that always put a word of the day on the comments. Shout out to that person. I like that.
which is on my right. You may recall it's upper riser.
Erica Patterson.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
All right. So Erica Patterson right now is on the stand. So he now has to ask questions. I'm gonna do a little game right now. See, I have this Rubik's Cube right here. It's unsolved. It's random. So let's see what happens first. Me solving this or him asking a question. I'm gonna mute my mic so you don't hear the little movements, but let's see what happens first.
Oh, the one spelling the name?
I believe it's on the record from previously, but go ahead. You can spell your first and last names, please.
ErikaPatterson.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. I'm trying to find some relevant paperwork here. Sorry about that. 1 second, I'm trying to find this paperwork. Just had it on the table.
When you're ready.
This paperwork.
Did you print that off? Did you use that to email?
I'm just gonna start the questioning. I'm not seeming to find paperwork that I just had on the table for some reason, odd reason.
Right, I win. And this is the edited down version. He took way longer than this to do this.
Good morning.
So, what do you do for a living?
I have my CNA
And that's the first question that he asked. How is that relevant?
certificate.
Jesus.
I'm gonna direct your attention to the evening of November 21st, 2021.
All right.
Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
I was hanging out with my friend Corey at Frame Park. I had spoken to you, Mr. Darrell Brooks. You came out there at Frame Park and met me after Miss Corey separated from me with her friend. Me and you got into an argument.
Whoa. Pursuant to the question,
I am answering your question.
I was referring to the judge.
I was hanging out
I
with
think I
Miss
kind of
Corey.
got a little ahead of.
The thing is, you ask an open question. You ask, what do you do that day? And that's what she did that day. So that's your fault.
Mr. Brooks, just, I'll let you interrupt the answer and you can ask a follow-up. I apologize, I was instructing the clerk to turn up the volume. So go ahead, ask your question.
Same question?
Sure.
What were you doing the evening of November 21st, 2021, before linking up with the alleged defendant?
Hanging with my roommate at the time at Frame Park.
And what were you and your roommate doing?
I'll object. We covered this ground during her testimony previously.
Objection
They did.
and grounds for, I object to that and grounds for the objection on behalf of.
He got so confused. He objected to an objection, and then he asked the grounds for the objection.
the state.
Mr. Brooks, we did cover many of these topics previously, so if there's new topics, please go to those. I'll give you a little bit of leeway to lay some foundation, but go ahead, ask your question.
That's
The
with the-
objection is from the state is overruled. Do you remember the question?
You asked me what we were doing at the park with Corey? Is that your question?
Yes.
We were drinking. I was drinking Mike's Hard beverage.
Do you recall around what time of the evening it was when you and your roommate arrived at the park?
I do not remember.
Do you recall having any phone interactions during that time when you and your roommate were at the park?
Phone interactions, yes.
Do you recall who they were with?
You.
What do you mean by you?
Darrell Brooks.
He's back to what do you mean by you? Are you gonna ask Erica if she knew you before the incident? Because I think she did.
Would it be fair to say that during those phone interactions, there was a talk of you guys meeting up? Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Do you recall, to the best of your recollection, what time that would have been at?
No, I don't remember. It was throughout the day.
And so at some point, would it be fair to say that you did meet up with the alleged defendant?
Yes.
Do you recall what time that was?
I just told you no.
Do you recall if you were still at the park during that time, or had you moved locations?
Still at the park.
I'm assuming, or let me back that up. Would it be fair to say that at some point during the meetup with the alleged defendant, things got a little chaotic? That'd be fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah. So, again, he's establishing that he was with her in the car. He's establishing that they got upset and they started to argue. How is this helping you?
And do you recall if at that point you were still at the park?
When we met up,
Yes.
well, we were at the park for a second, then we drove around.
Where did you drive to?
Around, then me and you, Mr. Brooks, were arguing in the car. We went up this is a street, it's like a hill. Went up there, and then me and you got into an altercation. I got out of the car, walked back towards Frame Park.
Well, wait, again.
Hold on, she's answering
Okay.
your question.
Um,
You asked her where you drove from. Go ahead,
and
finish.
yes, ma'am. And then I was walking down the street when I left your car. And that's when you followed me, and I walked back towards Frame Park. And you were following me.
Made reference to walk back to Frame Park.
I don't know the exact street name. It was the walk back down the hill. I don't know the exact street name.
Did you at any time, sorry, did you at any time during your travels back to Frame Park, did you at any time notice that there was something going on in the area?
No. When I got to Frame, I was too worried about walking back to Frame Park. When I got to Frame Park after I left it, that's when I realized there's something going on.
That's fair.
And did you ever arrive back at Frame Park?
Yes.
And what did you do when you arrived back at Frame Park?
I called my friend Corey and told her that me and Mr. Brooks got into an altercation. Mr. Brooks was following me. I went back to the SUV, the car, and you argued with me somewhere. I walked back across the street, and by that time, Miss Corey had walked towards us to meet up with me.
And you made reference to you calling your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall? Well, let me back up a little bit. Did you call your friend Corey or the friend that she had left you to hang out with?
Corey's phone, I kept calling her phone kept going to voicemail, so then I called Nick's phone. He put Corey on the phone. I said, Darrell Brooks had just hit me.
He really hates that she called Nick. He really doesn't like when she talks with other guys.
I'm going to back up a little bit,
More?
if I may, to the day prior.
Here we go.
November 20th.
Okay, we're back at the smashing doors of the hinges, right? Why Why are we going back to November 20? There's no charge in November 20. It's irrelevant whatever happened that day.
Of 2021. Do you recall what you were doing that day?
Well, where I was staying at the shelter at first, I was arguing still with Mr. Brooks all throughout the day. Me and Corey had left, and Corey and I stepped away, and I went back to Frame Park. I went to Frame Park, that's where I met you at. Me and you also got into argument that day, but we didn't drive around. We're at the Frame Park.
How is this
So
happening?
you're saying that you and the alleged defendant
Alleged defendant, by the way. You are the defendant.
were together the day of November 20th, 2021?
Yes,
Do you recall around what time that was?
I do not remember.
Do you recall at any time on November 21st of 2021 being interviewed by a Detective Guth?
Yep,
And do you recall giving a recorded report at that time?
I don't remember.
Do you recall if you had given Detective Goof all the details of the alleged incident on November 20th of 2021?
I didn't give him all the details, but I did the next day when I seen him.
What do you mean,
Funny.
So now it's funny. I thought the last episode you were yelling that this wasn't funny. So now it is?
Were you aware that it was reported there was in fact no incident on November 20th, 2021?
That's not true.
Objection. Move to strike the answer and the question.
Grounds.
Lack of personal knowledge. Hearsay.
Sustained. I'll strike the question and the answer. The reason stated, sir, rephrase, or
So can I show the witness the same paperwork that I attempted to show?
no.
No,
And why not?
it's not
Not
relevant.
relevant.
How's it not relevant when that was just testified to? Wouldn't that be opening the door?
No.
No. Next question.
Whatever happened on the
Any reason
20th
why
doesn't matter.
it would be reported no incident happened on November 20th of 2021?
Same objection.
Grounds.
He's totally mischaracterizing the evidence. It's not that nothing happened. It's just that the charge was dropped. It's different.
Since facts not in evidence, sustained.
Grounds for the sustain.
The record speaks for itself.
So, upon speaking to Detective Goof during the first interview, do you recall why you were not forthright with information?
It wasn't that I was not forthright, I just didn't tell him everything right away.
Why not?
I don't know, Mr. Brooks.
You can tell that she's so tired of him. She's done. And we are all done.
When speaking with a law enforcement officer, would it be fair to say that you should be truthful and honest?
I was very truthful, I just didn't tell him everything at once. I told him the next day, Mr. Brooks.
Yeah. He keeps equating this to a lie. But you can understand, even if you think that not saying everything is a lie, you can understand her. She's being domestically abused. So I don't know.
And in the alleged incident on November 20th of 2021, were you injured?
No. Well, you did hit me a little, like a little.
Were you injured?
No, I didn't have any marks on me. Is that what you're asking?
So where were
So unless you break her leg, it's not a crime, right, Mr. Brooks?
you injured?
By my lip?
Objection. This states the evidence.
Grounds.
I believe the witness understood the question. She answered it. It may stand.
Did your roommate observe any injuries from the alleged incident on November 20th, 2021?
She knew about it, but there's nothing visible on my face.
Do you know if your roommate had spoken with law enforcement about these alleged incidents
I
from
don't know.
November 20th of 2021 and November 21st of 2021?
I don't know.
Did she ever tell you yourself that she was interviewed by any law enforcement?
I don't remember.
So what time did you meet up with the alleged defendant on November 20th, 2021?
She
I
said,
don't remember.
she said that I didn't remember. Ask and answer.
Was it morning time? evening
Afternoon.
time? I didn't hear that.
Afternoon.
What?
And what were you doing prior to the alleged meeting up with the alleged defendant?
Objection.
When?
Grounds.
Asked and answered.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain.
It's been ask and
Asked
answer.
When?
Next question, please.
Like
When
10
was it
minutes
answered?
ago. It was. He's not even paying attention to his questions.
So to the best of your recollection, you can't recall why an alleged incident on November 20th of 2021 was reported to never happen.
Objection.
Grounds.
Same reasons as the previous objections.
Since facts not in evidence, mischaracterizes her prior testimony and irrelevant.
I object to that respectfully and
Next
ask for a
question.
legal finding of fact
Denied.
and a legal reconsideration of that ruling, Your Honor.
Denied.
Denied. Noted for the record. Next question, please.
I'm trying to figure out how something got pulled out of thin air. Interesting. So it would be fair to say that you have a child in common with the alleged defendant. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Is that the only child in common?
Yes.
You have any other children?
Objection.
Grounds.
Has nothing to do with the case. Sorry.
Hold
I'm
on,
sorry,
there's been an objection. Not relevant. Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain?
It's not relevant.
The record speaks for itself.
Why does it
The
matter?
record speaking for itself. I didn't hear it.
Not relevant.
How is it not relevant?
Next question, please.
How is it not relevant? The child that you have in common with the alleged defendant, how old is that child?
15.
Do you keep regular contact with that child?
Off and on.
Describe what you mean by off and on.
I'll object.
Grounds.
This is not relevant.
Not relevant. Sustained. It's not relevant, sir.
It doesn't matter. How does this matter with what you did to her?
She answered it.
Next question, please.
the child in common that you have with the alleged defendant, does that child live with you?
No.
Objection.
Grounds?
Relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained, not relevant.
Move on.
You don't have to answer that.
Do any of your children live with you?
Objection.
Again, very rich coming from a guy that doesn't live with any of his children either. So I don't see how this is relevant or how, because this is not about their kids. This is about him, her in a car on the 21st. He hitting her and she filing a report. That's it. That's how long they have to go. It doesn't involve anyone else. Maybe Corey and Nick, but other than that, no.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain?
Not relevant.
That goes to the credibility, Your Honor. So
It
how is
doesn't.
that relevant?
The objection has been sustained.
For relevancy.
Yes.
I object to that and would like to inform you that I intend to appeal that decision unless you want to give a legal reconsideration of that ruling.
Noted for the record, I direct your attention to 906.16 and the
Did he just threaten the judge? He said, I want you to reconsider that or else I'm going to appeal. That's not how it works. You can, if you want to appeal. She doesn't care.
basis for the objection being sustained is it
You're not gonna bully her into saying what you want to say.
does not fall within the categories listed. Next question.
Is that lawful law?
Yes.
Next question, please, sir.
I'm getting there. This is lawful law.
Next question.
Wisconsin State Statute 906.16.
That doesn't answer my question, but okay.
Okay.
Where did you meet the alleged defendant?
Reno, Nevada.
How long have you known the alleged defendant?
16 years.
Again, he's calling into attention that he met her when she was underage, and she has a kid that age. Why?
You made reference to meeting in Nevada. Do you recall where you met at in Nevada?
No. I don't remember.
How is Nevada relevant to this? This happened in Wisconsin.
In relation to the alleged incident on November 21st of 2021, would it be fair to say that there's been no contact between you and the alleged defendant?
Not since then, no.
That last answer was kind of low. Did you say no?
I said no, not since then.
So that would mean, assuming, that would mean no contact at all via phone or anything like that.
No.
So my question would be, I don't know if you can see them from here, but do you recognize these pictures?
You need to show those to the state. The bailiff will take them.
This was his smoking gun evidence. He was like, I'm gonna show her that she's lying. And look at the reaction on Susan. This is exactly the reaction of disbelief and surprise, but not in a good way. She's not surprised in the sense that, oh God, we didn't see this coming, we're gonna lose now. It's just that she can't believe that he will pull this off, and no one can. It's irrelevant. It's a lie, and it's also unadmissible because he didn't follow the rules.
That's not proper procedure, sir.
I'm going to object to those being shown to the witness. They have no relevance whatsoever to this trial.
Yes, they do. And I'll get into how they have relevance.
They've also never been disclosed to the state before this moment.
Sustained.
Sustain why?
Not relevant.
They are relevant. It creates foundation. And I can prove that.
I'll
He can prove that. Let's see how he proves it.
take up the issue outside the presence of the jury at the conclusion of this witness, and if need be, bring the witness back in. But next question, please.
And these need to be offered into evidence as well.
They don't.
You stated that there's been no contact. How would the alleged defendant obtain photographs from you if there's been no contact?
Objection.
Grounds.
Suspect, not in evidence.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Yeah.
Some facts not in evidence, not relevant.
How's it not relevant? Photos just don't pop up out of the blue.
Mr. Brooks assumes facts not in evidence,
No,
and at this
facts. I
point,
got the pictures
conduct.
right here.
You want to know how? Your mom. Your mom gave them that picture. Yeah, those pictures. Gave us those pictures to you. It's not that hard.
After
Facts.
the alleged date of violation here, it's not relevant.
Alleged violation.
You're
For the record.
correct. After the date charged, that the dates that are charged for these allegations, you are absolutely correct.
Thank you.
So,
Have you, since the evening of November 21st of 2021, have you attempted to contact the alleged defendant?
Objection.
Grounds.
Relevance.
Grounds.
I'm going to excuse the jury. I'll rise for the jury.
look at his head. He's so sure that he's gonna win
Trying to
this.
find it.
Hold on. All right, sir, I'm going to let you make an offer of proof as to why you believe the photographs and the questioning about contact after the alleged incident is relevant.
It's relevant because these were sent by the witness.
So,
It assumes a fact not an evidence, but
You
what
want
is...
the letter
hold
too?
on, hold on. Tell me the
he
basis
just said that you want the letter too, and we do want that letter.
you believe there's been communication and why you believe it's relevant to
It's,
her
it's
testimony.
relevant because it was testified to her first time testifying, and then also by what's the last guy, Guth, that he was told that the witness was supposed to be so deeply afraid of me and all this type of stuff. So if you're so deeply afraid and worried about somebody and this and that, why would you sneak
Do
and have
you want to
contact?
open up the door to the other act's evidence of you?
That's not
using-
opening.
No.
That's not
Hear me
opening the
out.
door.
Yes, it
Hear
is.
me out. Oh, yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
These witnesses have been incredibly careful to abide by my rulings. Sometimes in a court of law, when there are pretrial rulings, the testimony of a witness needs to be said in such a way not to run afoul of that. This witness, Detective Guth, I believe Detective Casey and others, Corey Runkle, and even Nicholas Kirby yesterday, this court has all had to stop them so that they didn't run afoul, or they've stopped themselves so that they didn't run afoul of the court's pretrial ruling on other acts evidence between you and this witness. And I have been very, very careful to make sure that doesn't come in. But if you keep questioning her about whether she's afraid or not, or
I
why she
didn't
wouldn't
question her
have
about that.
contact or
I
not,
didn't
you are
question her about
opening
that.
the door to that testimony. All of
How
my
do- how
rulings
does-
have
how
been
does-
made to prevent what
the
could be
pictures,
seen
Your
as
Honor.
prejudicial evidence. The standard's not prejudicial. The standard's whether it's unfairly prejudicial.
It's
But you
unfairly
can
prejudicial.
open the door
Your
to
Honor,
that,
It's
sir.
unfairly prejudicial that I have a document stating that November 20th never even happened, but yet and still the witness
Then
can get
have
on
you
the
turned
stand
that
and lie on the
document
stand.
over to the state?
Come on, man.
That document doesn't say that. That document is just saying we're not gonna charge. We're gonna drop the charge of the 20th. It doesn't mean it didn't happen.
And y'all know that's not right.
It,
Y'all know that's not right.
then you need to immediately turn it over to the state right now. It may become relevant, but no one has seen it. When
So-
did you receive the
so that-
document?
so what-
Hold on. When did you?
Wait.
I'm having you make an offer. When did you receive the
Okay,
document?
but that I just want to state for the record, Your Honor, that's kind of biased because the state did the same thing yesterday with creating an exhibit right on the fly that didn't even exist that I didn't have. But
That's
then,
not true. That's a
No,
misstatement
that,
of
Yeah.
the,
that,
of
that
the
is
evidence.
true.
No,
She
It's
said
not.
it herself.
no. Marking an exhibit is not creating an
No,
exhibit.
not marking the exhibit. She said
We're not
that
going to go
essentially-
down a tangent, sir.
All right,
I'm going
I'm
to
not gonna
focus
argue
on
with
this,
you,
and I'm
but
going to
it's
give
not
you the
fair.
opportunity
It's not
to make
fair.
a record.
It's not
All right.
fair. It's not fair.
She's still salty about the video being showed.
When did you receive this document that you claim was sent by this witness?
It's not claimed. It's for a fact.
Sir, it hasn't been established yet. I need to make a
So
record.
do y'all want
I
the
want
letter?
to see
Y'all want
the
the
letter.
envelope? What?
I want to see the letter.
Okay, so I got.
And I wanna know when you received it.
I gotta bring that in. Every time this is what I don't get. Every time I'm presenting something that needs to be made for the record and placed in the evidence, it's a problem. But the state can do it, no problem.
It's not.
Yes, because they follow the rules and they know how to do it. You just show up with stuff and expect everyone to play along.
Sir, there are proper procedures, and I
Okay,
want
well,
you to
that
make
was the
a
proper
record.
procedure.
If
It
you
wasn't.
don't make a record,
So
then
what?
I can't make a ruling.
It threw people off a loop. They weren't ready for it. They scared of it. That's what it is. Come on, man.
Mr.
Scared of what? It's just pictures.
Brooks,
Come on, man. Stop.
when you
Stop
are
it.
you aren't
Stop
even
it.
letting
You're a
me
public
ask the
servant, Your Honor.
questions.
I respect your courtroom. I
You
respect
did-
you. You're a public servant, though. Your job is to be the
Notice how he's clapping so she stops talking? I hate that. It's so disrespectful.
referee. Is it or is it not? You stated so yourself on record that your job is being the umpire.
Your Honor, can I ask Ms. Patterson please be excused?
Yes, you can be excused. My apologies.
My apologies too, but it needs to be some truth. Especially when we're talking about stuff that didn't even happen, but they're allowed to get on the stand and say that it happened when they know it didn't happen.
So I'm going to make a record about what
This
he's
is
referring
ridiculous,
to
man.
in count 77. Okay. The
And
state-
what happened to that paper? Because it was on the table. Then when I
Mr.
come
Brooks,
back in,
I
it's
need to
nowhere
make a
be found.
record of a variety of
So who
things.
took my paper?
And you keep interrupting me repeatedly today. I have shown an abundance of patience this morning. I've warned you repeatedly about being removed from the courtroom. And then every time I try to get into it, you, meaning an explanation and make a record, you interrupt, you attempt to divert everyone from what is being done this very second.
I didn't attempt to do anything.
Yes, you do it repeatedly,
Okay,
sir.
whatever.
Yep.
So you're doing it once again.
Whatever. Just make your record.
The document that Mr. Brooks wanted to show Detective Guth and this witness was a letter sent from the state of Wisconsin to the court regarding count 77. The state sought to dismiss that count, and they have prosecutorial discretion, and I granted the request that the charge be dismissed.
Why was the charge dismissed?
And that's, I can't answer. It was dismissed because the request was made, sir. They don't need a reason. There's an abundance of case law about prosecutorial discretion. And they chose not to pursue that. My
Your Honor,
guess
Your
is
Honor,
maybe
with all
to
respect-
simplify things and to keep this tidy. I don't know. You know what? I'll indulge you.
No.
Attorney Upper, would you like to provide a basis for why the state sought dismissal of that charge prior?
I'm sorry, but no. She doesn't need to do this. She needs to tell him, you know what, this is what it is. Deal with it. But she needs Susan to explain that. I don't think that's right.
prior to the start of this trial?
Yes, Your Honor, because as Ms. Patterson just testified a short while ago, she did not have any visible marks or injuries from that event. And we did have the photographs of her injuries. We did not want to confuse the record as to whether or not there was a battery that occurred on November 20th.
There you go.
Your Honor, I object to that. What does the letter read?
You have the letter. You showed it to me,
I
sir.
try, yeah, and I've been trying to find it ever since I came back in, and now all of a sudden I can't.
And now
find
you're
it.
impugning, though, like somehow you're imputing the integrity of this court,
No,
of
I'm
the
not.
bailiffs of this state. You're accusing, frankly, everyone
Did I
of
point
moving
the
your
finger?
papers.
Did I point the finger at anyone? Did I say anyone did anything?
Not directly, but indirectly you did,
So
sir.
how can you make the assumption that I'm saying?
Can
that
I
I'm
please
pointing to
make the
someone?
record without
Yes,
you interrupting
yes, you may.
me?
Yes, you may. I apologize.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But you made repeated comments, sir, about I can't find my documents, I don't know what happened, things of that nature. When you came back out, you took multiple minutes before you even asked your first question of Ms. Patterson. And if I need to, I'll have a bailiff put on the record that no one touched your table.
Your Honor, did I say anyone touched my table?
Yes, you said someone disappeared, someone took your paper. You said that.
I didn't
You
say you.
implied it, sir.
But did I say that?
You stated it implicitly.
I never asked the bailiffs, hey, did any one of you touch my table? I never said that to them.
Semantics.
I just said, I can't find my paper, which is
Now, you said someone took my paper. What happened to my paper?
the truth.
And the way
looking
that
down.
you said it, like,
I didn't point anyone
without-
out,
with-
though.
and like,
I
well,
don't
that's
think that
kind
that's
of
fair.
interesting.
I don't
I don't
think that
have a
that's fair to
document that was
assume.
just on my table. That is what you said.
That's
Words
what
to
I
that
said, but I
effect.
did not point the finger at anyone.
So,
I
you
can see
have
if
the
I
letter.
came in, Your Honor, with
You've
all
been
respect,
given.
I can see if I came in and said, hey, one of you moved something off my table, or if I would have directed that towards the state, or if I directed that towards the clerks or something like that, then that would be more of a validity to what you're saying.
I need to continue with the record, sir. It's very apparent to me, sir, that every time, I can't say every time because that would be an absolute, but many times throughout this trial, and especially the last 2 days, when the court makes a ruling that you disagree with, or I want to make a record about some behavior of yours, or a further record about a ruling that you that was not in your favor, that you start peppering me with questions or comments, statements. You question me about the law. You ask, is it verified law? It is, from my perspective, a clear attempt to kind of turn us in a direction away from what we're doing, perhaps even to stall and to delay.
I'm sorry
That's
you
my
feel that way.
that I'm making a rule. You're doing it again.
I mean, because it has no validity.
So
He's saying that was so dumb. He said that she said you're doing it again, and says like, yeah, I'm doing it again because it doesn't have validity. But if you're doing it, it means it has validity.
I am trying to make a record outside the presence of the jury about a line of questioning you want to ask Ms. Patterson. Now we have you claiming that there's some document that was sent by the witness after the charges were filed that apparently contained photographs. I think, and you can clarify the record momentarily when I'm done, that you believe goes to the credibility of this witness. So I need to ask a few questions about that, sir, to determine whether it has relevance to those issues. Number one, when did you receive this letter?
I received this multiple letters, actually, over a period of time.
She didn't ask about multiple letters. She asked about this one that has the pictures. When did you get it? He's avoiding the question.
It wasn't. I referred to this one because this one had the pictures. But
And why do you
the
believe
one,
it was from
to
Ms.
answer your
Patterson?
question, to answer your question with clarity,
Okay.
Thank you. Does it have a date on it? The letter?
no, I didn't bring the letter. I brought the pictures. because I thought, from my interpretation, I thought showing the pictures would be okay. How did I get these?
There's
So
multiple ways to get it.
Mine was saying show the pictures. They didn't come out of thin air. The witness
We need
knows
the
that they
letter.
sent me the pictures. They know that.
Well, again, it assumes facts that aren't here. You're assuming this witness sent it. I don't know. But even if she did, what relevance does it have to her credibility before this jury?
It goes to the credibility because she's put on this facade of being so afraid of someone, but yet still, you know that we're not supposed to have contact, but you still sneaking behind and saying, oh, I wonder how you're doing in jail. Oh, this and this and that. Oh,
I don't think
no, I
she's
still
ever
love
said
you.
she was
Oh,
afraid. I
mhm.
think that was the officers who may have stated that. But I don't believe she
But-
ever said that. She specifically said today when you asked her why did you, it was either why did you go back or why did you have, I'll look at my notes, and she
It was
said,
why.
I don't know.
It was why weren't you forthright with all the details?
But again, this is all happening before the 21st. All these conversations with her are before. He specifically asked if she had contact after the incident, and she said no. So how is this going to make her a liar?
That was the question.
So again, I'm going to ask you, even if this letter's from her, these pictures are from her, how does it
Your
relate to
Honor.
her credibility before the jury?
Who else could these pictures be from?
A lot of people, a friend, your mom, Marcus, Michelle, everyone. There's pictures. If I take a picture, it doesn't mean that what I took, someone else can like print it and put it somewhere else.
I'm going to ask you point blank, did you get a letter that's signed from her?
I got. What do you mean signed? No
How
one
do you know?
signs letters.
What's your why do you have a belief that they are from her?
I have multiple letters from her.
You're not answering my question. Why do you believe the letters are from Erica Patterson?
Because they were sent from Erica Patterson. Why else would I?
Were they signed by her?
What do you mean signed?
Did she write her name on the letter? Was
Are
it
you-
the content
are you
of the
kidding me?
letter? No, I'm not kidding you. I need to make a record, sir. You're making a statement that these letters are from her and that they're relevant to her credibility.
Your Honor, I'm gonna go out on the limb here.
And I'm asking you why you hold that opinion.
I'm gonna go out on the limb here and assume, which I know is true, you've never been in my position. You've never been in jail. So you've never received a letter from someone writing someone in jail. No one is gonna when you
You're
say
not
to me,
answering my
when
question,
you say to
sir.
me,
What's the basis why you believe they're from Miss Patterson? Is there some information in them that only she would know? Did she sign the letters? Is it penmanship that you recognize? Why do you believe they're from her as opposed to somebody else sending you information? Could be your mom, could be, I'm just saying,
why
could
was
be anybody
somebody
else.
Okay, she just laid out the options for him. He just have to take one of those and say that, oh, I recognize her penmanship, and that's it. But nah, he's not paying attention. He's not gonna say that.
This is
You got to answer my question. It's
Your
called an
Honor,
offer of
this-
proof.
But you still got to understand why this is mind-boggling to me. Like how I got a child with this woman. Why would I not know her handwriting?
But you have to
Why
lay
would
a
I not know?
foundation for these letters, sir. That might be
This
through
is
your own
ridiculous.
testimony. So that I'm trying to figure out why you believe they're from her. Not all this other stuff
Are
about
you
I'm in jail
serious?
and I have a child. I'm trying to, I need to know. It's called an offer of proof.
Are you serious?
What do you believe? Why do you believe they're from her? I am serious. I need you to
Because
answer.
they're from her.
But you're assuming
Like
that.
how else am I supposed to answer that?
I've given you a few reasons
Yeah.
why it would lend to that opinion.
So it has to be put in a legal
The
term.
bottom
or
line
something?
is I
No.
need the letter. So if you're going to question her on that, the state absolutely has a right to see the letter. So you need to provide that letter. The bottom line is I'm not going to allow any questioning without having that letter. The
Yes.
what
state
about-
has the ability to question you about that or question this witness and to look at the veracity of what your claims are here. So I may take an early lunch If that's in your cell, then you can go get it and bring it. But without that letter, I'm not allowing this line of questioning.
Yeah.
Do you have the letter with you in court?
I just said no. How
Okay.
many times I got to say the same thing on record?
You know, sometimes, sir, I don't hear what you say because you interrupt me so much or you answer quietly. And I'm taking notes and I'm focused on probably a dozen things at the same time.
But if I say something under my breath, everybody seems to hear it. Everybody seems to hear
In
that
a
just
quiet
fine.
courtroom,
And everybody
yes, we can
assumes-
hear it very
and
clearly.
everybody assumes that it has to be disparaging. Or,
Once again, you're doing...
Because that's all that you say, my guy. Everything that you say is disparaging and insulting and disrespectful.
this tactic
Because
where you
it's
to
not
go
a tactic,
off
it's
of what
facts.
we're talking
It's
about
facts.
to some other reason.
it's facts.
to
Because
some
I
other
find
thing.
it hard to believe that
I'm going to
all
let
of
the
a sudden
state...
nobody hears what I say.
I'm going to let the
Come on,
state
man,
make
stop.
a record of why they
Stop.
believe it's objectionable because I haven't let them do that. I've given you multiple opportunities to tell me why you
So
believe
I
it's...
didn't get these pictures from nobody else. Why was
The
somebody
record will
else
reflect you have 2 pictures that you believe were from this witness.
that I know is from
No, that you believe.
that I know?
All right, I'll ask the state their position on all of this.
My position, Your Honor, is that these pictures, first of all, should not be admissible. 1, because of a discovery violation. We've never seen them before. 2, because we have reason to believe that he did not get them from Erica Patterson. He is on a jail phone call talking to his mother, Dawn Woods, about Dawn Woods sending these photographs to him. Now,
That's a lie.
Busted.
Let the state make their argument without interruption, sir.
That's a lie, though.
3, I believe that these photographs are designed to make a suggestion to the jury that Erica Patterson is a bad mom. I think that is what the defendant is trying to do. And if we're going to go down that road, then we would be forced to counter that claim. First of all, it doesn't make her an incredible witness, if it's even true. And second of all, if we go down that road, we would be forced to counter that claim by pointing out that not only does the defendant not live with the child in question, he doesn't live with any of the other children that he has. He impregnated Erica Patterson when she was a minor in Nevada, and for doing so, he was convicted of statutory sexual seduction, pled guilty in March of 2007 to that felony offense, and is a sex offender on the registry as a result. So if there's any causation that would lead to Erica Patterson being a bad mom, Mr. Brooks has a direct role in that causation.
And that's
Furthermore,
I'll object to that
I'm not
because
done.
that's a lie.
Can you imagine having this guy in your life since you were 15 and having direct contact with him all the time after that? Ugh.
Let him
Because at the
finish.
end of the day,
Let
if
him
we
finish.
gonna open the door
Mr.
on that, no,
Brooks.
since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record. Since you think you know so much,
Once
so
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told me
disrespectful,
she was when
interrupting.
we met. We can ask
He's-
that question
he is
too. Then
over the
Did you
top,
ask that?
animated
Do you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the state
no,
finish.
I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the record.
Right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom. And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter and he
Don't
can
sit
show
here and try
it
to
is
think he knows
inadmissible,
what's going
she will
on.
not be questioned. And under 906.11, I will
Then you gonna
declare
talk
the
about where my
cross-examination
kids live. You don't know where,
closed.
You don't know where, what
Thank
happened
you.
at
We're
the
in
time
recess,
all this
1
happened,
hour.
bruh. Get your facts straight. So let's open the door on all of it then, so we can get all of it on the record. Since you think you know so much. Did you know she said she was 18 when I met her? Did you know that?
I don't believe that's true. Alright. I'm gonna leave it here. We're gonna come back with the aftermath on the next episode. We just had our lunch, so I will see you guys after lunch. Have a great day. Bye-bye.